What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and we're playing a little Mega Man 11 in today's video. Basically, we're going to be taking down Impact Man. If you guys have not played this actually, I think, was a very difficult level, despite just coming off of Acid Man in my progress. So with this, there was just some really big challenges, and so the video is a little bit edited, so it's going to look like I've played through it completely. And while I did decide to cut out numerous deaths that did occur due to just various mistakes here. Obviously, the first challenge, I actually first just jumped down this because I was like, alright, just going to move down. Obviously, there's a pit at the bottom of this piece, so highly recommend. Just be very cautious and try not to get knocked off. One thing I did get an upgrade for in Dr. Light's lab is when I take a hit, I don't necessarily get knocked as far back. In the initial stages of the game, any kind of impact could really knock you off the ledges, and obviously that's more reminiscent of the classic Mega Man style. This is a nice upgrade, and I've enjoyed it very much so. All in all, like, I've got the orchestra music playing. I'm playing this on the Xbox One X. I also picked up this game on the Nintendo Switch because I am a huge Mega Man fan and I want to support the franchise. That's just me. If you guys haven't seen any of my other two videos, we've taken out Block Man and Acid Man, and those are the two power-ups that I currently have in my arsenal. I'm gonna go ahead and go down the stairs. You can see that I keep thinking I'm gonna press left, but I keep pressing right for some reason. So I'm gonna keep moving on here. The levels in Mega Man 11 are really quite fascinating. I feel like they're much longer than the levels have been in any of the previous games, and they like to blend a lot of different style. I don't know if people are necessarily a fan of how this looks or how this plays, but I think I personally like the new style for Mega Man. I'm always going to have a spot in my heart for the classic style, but it's still just, I think it speaks to me in really interesting ways that I've really come to enjoy. I'm just happy to see a straight up new Mega Man game after a very, very long hiatus. But this is my first real time. I have obviously cleared it, and this is going to be my clear playthrough. But the thing that really kind of shocked me was just how much further this level goes on. We still have a little while before that happens. I'm like, okay. We haven't even made it to the mini boss yet. Grabbing that little life power up. I love that they can that they push Rush on his own ability bar. I mean, at any moment I can press the Y button and I am ready to go. Also, if you guys don't know, whenever you see a little white flag in the corner, that means you've actually hit a checkpoint and are able to continue from that point. And there are many checkpoints in each level, but I think that still speaks to the overall size and scope of the level itself. Oh no, I fell down. I also had the I have the auto charger add-on, which I bought on accident. If you guys aren't aware, the screws that you see me pick up the various gears, they give you points, and you can use those points to buy 1-ups, E-tanks, any number of things. This obviously makes the game much more approachable from how it was back in the N64 days, excuse me, the Nintendo days, Nintendo and NES. Right. So we're coming up on a little edit because I came into this boss, and for some reason I keep forgetting that I had my superpowers, even my gear change system. So the edit happens here, and now I'm on a different attack, and I'm going to use my block ability. This ability is so overpowered. I love it. It's fantastic for taking out bosses. It's fantastic for helping to clear out the area in different ways. You obviously the little flag there in the corner, which I never noticed until somebody called it out, and I was like, okay, good to know, this is going to be a starting point. I decided to bring out Blockman's ability and just kind of make my way across this. You can follow this thing down and around, and there's going to be a lot of things it throws at you. Here's one of those gear things that I mentioned that give you points so that you can actually kind of buy upgrades and power-ups and things like that. You can see I keep pressing speed gear. I'm wondering if I should rearrange how my controller plays, because maybe firing on the right trigger would be much more comfortable than switching or speed gear. Either way, I'm gonna have to play with that and see how I end up feeling. These rolly enemies are actually really interesting. I'm not the best. Sometimes I feel like I'm on point and get them every time, and other times not so much. Acid Man's level, I think, had way more environmental hazards, so this is kind of like, oh, now they have spikes. So it's like the level obviously progresses and gets more difficult. I'm trying to see if I'm able to get past him without getting hit, and I'm not. But thankfully, if you take damage and fall into the spikes, it won't kill you. In fact, I think you'll even get an achievement for it. So any achievement hunters out there, or trophy hunters out there, just keep that in mind. Now, before this clear, I've struggled with this part, and so I was going to say, like, well, maybe I can see if, you know, Brickman's ability will help deter these guys who are going to keep jumping out at me. But what I end up ultimately setting my kind of goal on is actually bringing out Rush Coil to help kind of compel me higher in different areas. I'm going to get knocked out right here, but I'm going to be able to go back. I feel like that worked real well for me, and I'm going to go ahead and do that again. I blast myself into a wall, get knocked off again. So, third time's the charm. Get ourselves out of dodge, still get hit, but get knocked the way I want. We're gonna go just shoot these guys down. I'm gonna take a lot of damage, and I'm just gonna ignore this E-take for now. Barely making it through that part. Kind of weighing my options, and we're gonna go and use an E-tank. I'm gonna get to the boss. My decision was that, like, I just want to get to the boss. It's like, alright, Rush. There we go. Alright. So, guy's gonna jump up right in the center, so you want to kind of avoid it, but then you want to move left and right. I thought that was really interesting. And then you can see that you have the Dr. Wily symbol and a power-up option up there at the top for life, and I'm gonna go and decide to get that, despite the fact that I filled up on life right there. Just want to see how difficult it was. And let's rush it up. And there we go. Alright, it's time to fight Impact Man. Impact Man is weak to Acid Man's ability. So you can see I'm shifting over to Acid Man. There's a part of me that likes the new model, and there's a part of me that just wishes they just did Mega Man in a color scheme to kind of designate it. But it is cool. I just haven't settled on it yet. Now I'm still trying to figure out Acid Man's ability. So it puts acid around me, and then I'm able to fire that at him, which he's obviously weak against, but he is just all over the place. I'm able to put out a good amount of damage. But the guy is like, look at him. This guy was actually really tough despite having the weapon I needed to attack him. So he's gonna do this. I'm gonna decide that I want to win this fight. I don't want to come back. I want to go ahead and win this fight, so I go ahead and power up. And he's still at only half life, and I have now run out of all my acid ability. So I'm gonna actually think about, like, maybe I can do bricks to see if that helps bring out some damage. Cause he is just, gosh, this is a tough fight. Like, his level was tough, the boss fight was tough. I'm playing on normal mode if anybody just is curious. I decided to burn my last E-tank, bring some brick damage out on him. Seems to hurt him. Not as much as I want. But I've got the advantage, and he is just gonna melt everything in its place. This is where it's down to the wire, and we finally get him with one powered up Buster Shot. I hope you guys like that, and I hope this has been fun. If you guys are on the fence about Mega Man 11, I'd highly recommend checking it out. It's $30. I have it on Nintendo Switch, and I have it on Xbox One. Plays great on both. I played the demo a lot on the Switch before I, picked this game up full time. But here I'm going to get the Impact Blaster, or whatever they decide to call it. And what's also interesting is that when they give you the ability, to kind of test it in a test room or whatever. So they got the arm gear, got Pile Driver, that's the weapon name, and they'll let you press right trigger and you can try it out. So this is neat because it's a dash as well. So I'm gonna wonder to see if this is gonna help me get into reach different locations or hidden areas. That's one of the things I really appreciate about Mega Man altogether. But anyway, for Work To Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.